Kicking indoors since 1966, we take a look at the new VFC licensed MP5 by Umarex in this episode of the Gear Guide. You know, there are a few guns that are as universally recognizable as the Heckler & Koch MP5, and there's no wonder why. It's made a showing in just about every major film or TV show since the 1980s until today, and there's a reason for that. The real MP5 is an amazing SMG to shoot, and its surgical accuracy and low recoil have made it a top pick for SWAT units and special operations teams for decades. So, when Umarex swapped OEMs from G&G to VFC, we were chomping at the bit to see what changes they made in the process, and changes there were. The older model was a solid specimen, but the VFC version here is a work of art. I mean, the body has zero wobble in the A4 version, which is the fixed stock, and the A5 here is just as good, except the stock here extended does have a bit of wobble and when it's fully extended, but to be fair, the real one does as well. Our only real gripe on the build is how tight the mag well is with new magazines, and it does take a bit of breaking in to get fresh mids and high caps to fit, even the included 200 round high cap. In the A5 version here, the battery lives in the updated enlarged handguard here, and in the A4 it lives back in the stock, but you access it different. In the old MP5s, you pop the buttstock plate off the end. This one you actually pull a single pin, take the whole stock off itself, and it lives inside of there. Another huge change is the addition of a fourth option here on the selector switch, and this is the big one, 3-round burst. I mean, that's right, nested right between semi and full is the mythical unicorn of select fire options, and let me tell you what, it works really well. In our test, we got consistent 3-round burst shots using a 9.6 battery and an occasional 4-round burst when we cranked it up to an 11.1 20C. Now, mind you, that's a pretty beefy 11.1 LiPo. But the best part about the burst function is mechanical versus being a MOSFET, so it's interruptible, so you don't overshoot your opponent. We thought that was another great touch to go with the mechanical design versus the electronic MOSFET design. In our field tests, in full auto, we saw a solid 15 rounds per second out of this baby here, which is a nice balance for a smaller SMG that has a limited ammo capacity, compared to the other big carbines out there that can handle a higher rate of fire because you've got this massive high cap bucket you can put onto it. But don't let this little size fool you. With 390 FPS at the peak, this MP5 is cranking out more than enough power to keep up with the big dogs on the field. And accuracy was actually really good at medium to close range. We did see a little bit of a drop off outside of that 100 foot, which is really beyond most CQB engagement distances. But if you want to take the fight outside, all you need is a longer barrel and a mock suppressor to go on this threaded barrel that they give you from the factory, and you are good to go. Now, with all things considered, the new licensed VFC H&K MP5 from Umarex really does improve on their previous model in many ways. And really the shining crowning feature is the 3-round burst. It's a fun SMG that packs a punch, and one that we're going to be keeping in our personal arsenal for quite a while. So if you're looking for an SMG to add some variety to your collection, or want a smaller primary AEG to run and dominate the field, take a look at the H&K MP5 by Umarex and OEM by VFC.